the actual red flag defending.
I've been given like.
People deluded, I'm back again.
Come on, Ian, bro. Come on.
As Ian Wright just said there, people deluded, I'm back again. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and of course, good night. I'm sure like yourselves, people, you know, all Arsenal fans, all football fans are all watching the transfer window and seeing exactly what's going to happen. You know, you've seen Tonali to Newcastle, Bayern Munich have had a bid rejected from Spurs for Harry Kane, and there's a bunch of other stuff. Where Arsenal's concerned, small hope with this Declan Rice saga is drawing to a conclusion. It's really not. We don't know if we'll get him, but let's see what the latest headlines concerning everyone's saying, people. Smash the like button. As usual, one love for you lot tuned in. We don't need to register for this. Allegedly, The Guardian is saying Declan Rice waits for bigger Arsenal offer after Manchester City bid rejected. Now, we heard last week Manchester City were to bid. Yesterday, Monday, they did. Today, it's come out. Their first bid has been rejected. So we've had two bids. Arsenal have had two bids rejected from West Ham. City have had one. Both parties need to go back to the drawing board. West Ham have turned down City's opening £90 million offer. Arsenal are preparing third offer for the England midfielder. Declan Rice is waiting for Arsenal to raise their bid for him after West Ham rejected Manchester City's opening offer of £90 million for the midfielder. Now, if we just go off that and assume it's facts, maybe Arsenal's his first choice. And if Arsenal don't agree a fee with West Ham, and obviously Manchester City do, boy, he goes to City, even though City arguably should be your first choice and Arsenal shouldn't be in the same hemisphere. Obviously, the fact of you're probably more likely to play a slightly more important role at the Emirates than you would at the Etihad, the London aspect, the fact of, you know, the England boys here as well. There are some factors. Arteta's a great manager to want to play for Arsenal Football Club and obviously the prestige of the club. But it's not about the past, it's about where you're going. And, you know, who's more likely to win major honours? Unfortunately, Manchester City. They've done the three-peat, they've done the treble, they've won the champs, things of dreams. Declan Rice would also learn hell of a lot from Arteta, but a hell of a lot more from Pep Guardiola. That's just the industry. A bidding war for Rice has erupted, probably overstating that, after City entered the race to sign him on Monday night. The treble winners made a bid of 80 million plus 10 million in add-ons, but West Ham are holding out for a fee of at least 100 million. So they're holding firm. Allegedly, Pep Guardiola, let me know your thoughts. Pep Guardiola believes Rice can replace Gundogan, even though they're two different players, who's obviously completed a free transfer to Barcelona. And City will push to get the deal done. However, it's understood Rice's preference remains Arsenal, and the onus is on them to bring in Mikel Arteta's top target at the Emirates Stadium. Arsenal are prepared to lodge a third bid for the 24-year-old and are likely to need to meet West Ham's valuation. There had been suggestions that a drawn-out race will play into City's hands. Rice met Guardiola towards the end of last season, and although he wants to stay in London, he's not going to turn down City if they end up outbidding Arsenal. Man United have also been monitoring the situation, but are viewed as outsiders at the moment. Arsenal's second bid for Rice was 75 million plus 15 million in add-ons, equal overall to City's proposal. But West Ham were unhappy with the payment terms. Arsenal wanted to spread the guaranteed portion of the fee over 5 years, and West Ham thought the add-ons were unrealistic. City were looking to pay 80 million in fewer installments. Both teams will need to hit the 100 million pound mark if they want to sign this individual. Yesterday, as I said, you know, Manchester City placed a bid. Today, David Ornstein has confirmed, like everybody else, West Ham have rejected Manchester City's first offer for Declan Rice, people. Again, Romano has said West Ham rejected Man City's proposal for Rice as they know Arsenal will bid again for more than 90 million total package. Plan has been clear for days. So I think Arsenal are wary of getting drawn into a bidding war. City evidently the same. And West Ham don't really want to commit to either party right now because they want them to really drive up the price. More to follow, says Romano, as Arsenal's third bid is expected soon, but City remain in the race. As we know, Guardiola met Declan Rice met Pep Guardiola allegedly towards the end of the season, and he does believe he can replace Gundogan. Now, Rob Holding allegedly is in talks over a potential loan move to Besiktas, people. I mean, he's keen to secure first-team football. I think we're keen to get you off the wage books full stop, really. Holding has never really looked like a player that's really going to make it at Arsenal Football Club. There's been better moments, you know, whatever season it was just before, unfortunately, he got injured at Old Trafford. He was in good form. Obviously, he's a bit of a, I won't say cult hero, but he's got great memories with the FA Cup, having helped us win it, along with Mertesacker and Monreal against Diego Costa. You can leave with your head held high. fundamentally, you made 14 appearances in the Premier League. The bulk of them came when we evidently had no choice. By all means, be a great person for the young players. Be a great person around the side. But, you know, we need good footballers. And unfortunately for Rob Holding, we're going to a level where you can't do it. You're just not that good of a defender for this level. You're not that good with a ball at your feet. You don't offer what Saliba could offer, what Gabriel could offer, potentially now what Kirill could offer, even Tomiyasu at centre back, and potentially Timber and Benjamin White, you can move over there. It's the harsh reality. And especially if we get all them options and worse games to worse, and by God's grace, we get Declan Rice. Declan Rice could also play at centre half. So you're irrelevant, really and truly. You can't play the system. I'm not trying to be harsh, you know. It's 27. Leave with your head held high. You've survived you've played under Wenger, you played under Emre, you've played technically under Lombard, you've played under Arteta. You've been here for a while, you know. Go and move. And for Besiktas is probably, to be honest with you, that's probably one of your most attractive offers, excluding them that may be there in the Premier League, if I'm honest. You know, Turkish fans are very passionate. Big club like Besiktas, go and do that. You'd be lucky. For Arsenal, it doesn't help us because he's got a year left on his deal with the option of another one. We did only spend 2 million, and they only talk about a loan. I don't know his wages, but pretty sure he might not get whatever wages he's on. He's not going to get them elsewhere. But allegedly, there's talk around him going to Besiktas on a loan, people, and he's keen to secure first-team football. Obviously, it does look like we're going to get Timber in. Allegedly, we've bidded 41.5 million for the defender, which is another offer on top of the original 30 million pound offer, which was already turned down. Apparently, we're hopeful of coming to a conclusion. Personal terms are not an issue, and if and when we agree a fee, then obviously medicals and the rest of it can take place within due course. With the likes of Saliba, Gabriel and Ben White all ahead of Holding as it stands, his playing time in North London would be limited. As you know, he's got a year left on his deal, people. He could also be granted that year option or sign a new deal outright. So, yeah, big up yourself. 2 FA Cup wins for that matter, really and truly. 162 appearances since 2016. Go and do your thing, man. You leave with your head held high. Unfortunately, can't help us. Allegedly, Mikel Arteta has more or less made a promise to Kai Havertz that he will play in his favourable position moving forward, which might not be the false 9. Apparently, there's only the last few details left. Apparently, a major reason for him signing for Arsenal has been that he'll play in his favoured position. That is central or attacking midfield. Does that mean Odegaard's going to become an 8 and Havertz will be the 10, or Havertz will be on the bench, or they'll rotate? And I'm keen to see what we do with them, what we do with Smith Rowe, what that means for Fabio Vieira and potentially any other players coming into the club. So hopefully this week's a good week for Arsenal, where we could, in an ideal world, the bid's accepted for Declan Rice, Timber and Havertz are signed by the end of the week, and Mikel Arteta can focus on any other players he wants to bring in, and maybe I do focus on getting some players out of the football club, folks. If that was the case. Apparently, you know, I can't lie, you do see it fluctuating. You've seen as high as 50 million, but allegedly Arsenal have set an asking price of 30 to 35 million for Balogun, people. Allegedly, this article has said there's a real chance Balogun will be sold this summer. Arsenal's long-standing plan has always been to bring the American international forward back from his loan, where he scored an incredible 21 Ligue 1 goals, and then assess, including taking a look at him during pre-season, where ironically we're going to be in America. But Balogun did so well at Reims and won the CONCACAF Nations League with America, scoring in the final. Now he wants regular game time, and it's hard to believe there would be plenty of opportunities for him to get that. Balogun is also not prepared to go out on loan again. This changes things and means Arsenal may end up selling. Arsenal would be looking for around 30 to 35 million. Crystal Palace are one club to watch. Reims know they can't sign Balogun again or get another loan. There's also plenty of speculation about Eddie Nketiah's future. I actually think he is far more likely he'll stay at Arsenal this summer. He's only signed a new long-term deal. I don't know if Ben Jacobs is credible in anything Arsenal, but there you have it. This article has said really that Balogun's been told by Arsenal to get a move on with his future, and it's actually said Crystal Palace, West Ham, Brentford, Fulham and Everton have all been interested. Everyone can be interested. People need to put down offers for the individual. So I have to see, people. Apparently, he's again rejected the opportunity to renew his contract at Arsenal. And while he's reiterated he's got no intentions of going out on loan, obviously on paper, rightly or wrongly, Jesus and Nketiah are ahead of him in the pecking order. Trossard was signed in January, plays as a false 9. You'd have to assume that. Havertz might very well play in midfield, but he's played the majority of his games last season at false 9. So that's another forward. You've obviously got Martinelli there as well. And indirectly, whether you're an 8, a 10, a winger, a striker, there's only so many of you Mikel Arteta can have on the bench. You're going to need a goalie, couple of defensive options, and all of these things. So who knows? But if he's drawing interest from Premier League clubs, contracted until 2025. Let's get some decent guala on him, really. You know, Brentford, Ivan Toney's missing for a while. That could be done. Crystal Palace been needing strikers. West Ham, I don't know their credibility on that. Everton and Fulham, who knows? So we'll have to see how that one develops, people. Once again, apparently the Timber deal is edging closer. This article has said allegedly Chelsea and Liverpool have overtaken Arsenal in the race to sign Lavia. Allegedly, we had been the favourites. I thought it was Chelsea, to be fair. Apparently, we even held talks, and apparently some articles said yesterday that we've actually agreed personal terms with him, people. But apparently Arsenal now risk losing out on Lavia to Liverpool or Chelsea. The reason for this is because of the time it's taken to complete the signing of Rice and the sale of Partey. I'm not saying that's wrong, but that just assumes that Arsenal can only focus on one deal at once, which you kind of don't. We've kind of just gone over certain things. We'll have to see. But Lavia is a man in high demand, really. Southampton, courtesy of this one, to get a move on. There's a couple of players that could move on, you know. Tino Livamento's been linked with Newcastle. Kyle Walker-Peters, James Ward-Prowse could get prem moves. Solomeenka might get a move, you know, and the rest of them named there as well. Bella Kocha, young centre-back, German centre-back, should not be playing in the Championship. Romano's added his own 50 pence into it, and he said, let's start with last night's really big news about Rice. City's opening bid for the West Ham captain is in, and we all know Arsenal will also bid again for a third time. City's official proposal is 80 million plus 10 million in add-ons, so a 90 million package. Arsenal, from what I understand, have no intention to respond and try again. Their last bid was 75 million. Have the intention to try again. Their last bid was 75 million plus 15 million add-ons, but they will try again. They will stay in the race and keep pushing for Rice. On Lavia, elsewhere, there was also news of Liverpool joining the race for Lavia yesterday. On the player side, they are speaking to many clubs, including both Liverpool and Arsenal. Nothing is decided yet, and it's also important to remember that Southampton want an important fee close to 50 million. Arsenal have an excellent relationship with his agents, but it's not just about that. This doesn't impact Liverpool's pursuit of Thuram. He remains on their list at this stage. Again, Man City are still willing to sell Cancelo allegedly to Arsenal this summer, according to Dean Jones. I'm not too sure if that's something we're going to do, really and truly. Absolutely, they have eyes on this. Arteta knows where to go shopping when he wants to level up the levels of his own squad. Cancelo at City is the perfect place for him to pick up a great talent, where you'd have Timber and Benjamin White potential right-back options as well. So I'm not too sure. Unless Tini was to leave and Cancelo can play left-back, if that's the something there, then maybe that's that. I personally think he goes to Spain. Ready to leave, and City are willing to let him go to another PL club. People constantly keep questioning whether they're going to keep doing this. Man City don't care what other teams do. They believe they are the best. They believe that if they're willing to let a player go, then it doesn't matter where they go. They'll have a better plan in store. Fair enough, but it doesn't say anything tangible in relation to wanting him, really and truly. That's some other news for you. Big up Arsenal for winning, you know, charity work awards off the pitch, people. Nonsense, but Juventus have proposed Arthur Melo in a Thomas Partey swap. Yeah, we didn't see him in a Liverpool shirt. Well, we literally didn't, but we didn't hear about his injury issues. And we all know Arsenal have a long-term standing interest in the individual. So with that being said, smash the like button. Let me know your thoughts on everything we've discussed on Lavia, on Rice, on whatever, people, really. Check out the rest of the vids. I'm out.
There's always just that active red light, defending.
I think it's like